Blah. My voice is a bit croaky today, so it's not gonna sound amazing. But I am here. Hi. Hi, Poppy. Welcome to stream. How are you today? We're just gonna go straight into Psychedelica the Ashen Hawk. I just realized I need to replug something. Because I forgot to do it. Let me just replug something. And you can get it again. Then plug something earlier. Forgot to put it back in. Oh, like. Jeez. Alright. Album into the gallery. No, it's not. It's movie. You gotta remember this every time. Opening theme, let's go. I have a feeling for this, I'm gonna need the guides up for the choices. Because we're doing all the endings, I want to change up a bit. I want to go with Lucas's ending first. And then from there, go to Wolf Brothers and do all the small stuff. And probably the stream after that. And then after that, go to do Marvin and Webbies. And then after that, go to Hugh and all the other stuff. Oh, I'll just be right back in a second. Where did it go? There it is. BRB in 1 sec. I am back. Back again here. So it's gonna look up the roots. Ashen roots. Roots. I'll do. So we're looking for Lucas's. It's chapter 7 when we get choices. I think that's it. Next chapter, actually. Okay. Chapter 8 is when we need to start really worrying about stuff. So continue. Chapter 7, let's go. This is where the choices start to affect the ending. After bidding farewell to Ashen Hawkins, the first thing I did was to go straight to the church. There was the issue with the Caladria, but with the Caladria for one thing, but I also needed a place to hide. I couldn't go back to the tower because Lucas was there. This was the only place I could go.
ずうずうしい話だよね。ここに置いといたら危ないって言ってカレードビアを持ち出したくせに。
それは100も承知してる。
エルリック、意地悪を言ってはいけないよ。本当は頼ってきてくれて嬉しいんだろ。
はあ？そんなことあるはずないだろ。
Eric spoke like you in the church, while the real owner, Lawrence, are betrayed.
ここを使うのは構わないよ。空いている部屋もたくさんあるし。
ありがとう。恩に切る。
どういたしまして。こういうのもなんだけど、ここは身を隠すにはうってつけの場所かもしれないしね。昼間は人の出入りもそこそこ多いし。
いいの？神父がそんな悪巧みするようなこと言って。
大丈夫。僕は本当の神父じゃないから。それより少し詳しく事情を聞いてもいいかな。もちろん差し支えがなければだけど。
There was nothing I had to hide at that point. I did my best to explain the entirety of my circumstances. After he made up with the church, Levy cut me. And then Lucas saved me right after that. I told him about the magical stones that could make people go insane. I told him about Francisca and Dolgar. And I told him that I was a witch. They both listened intently to everything I had to say. They didn't doubt or ridicule me for anything. They simply accepted my words.
魔石か。
何か知っているの？
昔似たようなもの、似たような力を持つかけらを見たことがあるんだ。このあれは間違いなく本物だった。
Things similar to the magical stones also existed elsewhere. That surprised me, but that wasn't the point right now. What I needed to do was think about who in the town owned magical stones. If I used my power of clairvoyance, I might be able to find out the truth.
この目に本当にそんな力があればだけど。
あのさ、本当に目赤くなるの？見せてみてよ。ほら、早く。
What should I do? I looked to Lawrence for help, but he just nodded. He must have wanted me to show it too. I thought about it a little, but if I would be using my powers more, I needed to get used to it. Just like I showed Lavin and Levy, I focused my strengths into my right eye. Soon after, I could feel it heating up.
これでいいか？
本物だね、それ。
え、なんでわかるんだ？
わかるよ。なんとなくだけど。
His word didn't seem to be trustworthy, but I let myself believe in it anyway. I felt relieved in a strange way. The heat began to leave my right eye, and with it the strength I had left in my body. Oh, that's right, I haven't slept a wink since yesterday. I felt I might be at my limit.
大丈夫かい？少し休んだ方がいい。
ごめん、そうさせてもらう。あ、そうだ。エルリック、頼みたいことがあるんだ。
まだ何かあるの？本当にずうずうしいよね。
Ulrich's complaints were justified, but I pretended not to hear it.
ラバンに会いたいんだ。もし見つけたら、ここに来るように伝えてほしい。
ここを使うといい。
The room Lawrence took me to was a simple yet comfortable place that was more than enough for a freeloader like me.
ありがとう。これは？
I pointed at the obviously out-of-place decorations around the bed, at which Lawrence simply smiled.
僕とエルリックで用意したんだ。一時でも君の心が休まるようにってね。
花だ。
あれでも彼なりに君のことを心配しているんだ。
Aww.
それじゃあ僕は行くよ。何か必要なものがあれば呼んで。
I watched Lawrence leave and was left by myself in the room. I threw myself onto the bed and put my head on the pillow. I could feel myself dozing off immediately. I wanted to see Lavin first, then Levy, then who? Don't rush it, just take things one at a time. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a flower above my head.
かわいい。
I wrapped myself in the warm blanket, closed my eyes, and fell into a deep sleep. I woke late in the evening in a slight daze. It was then that Elric came in to say,
今夜来るってさ。寝ぼけてるの？人を働かせといていい身分だね。
来るって。
ラバンだよ。遅くなるかもしれないけど、絶対に来る
See,
って。
Lavin. I suddenly became wide awake. I didn't expect to see him today. Thanks. Thanks for that. My poor ears. Hi again, Poppy. Welcome back. How are you today? My voice is a bit oofed since this morning. It's just kind of one of those days. I knew he was rude to saying this, but seeing his efficiency was making me realize that he may be more than what I expected. Ulrich continued to mumble under his breath, but I thanked him in my heart. That night, it was actually past midnight. Lawrence and Ulrich had already gone to bed, and the whole place was deathly quiet. So nice, you're welcome, you're welcome. Thanks. Without sound and in complete darkness, Lavin waited alone in the chapel. There were things I needed to tell him, there were things I needed to ask. I tried to organize the thoughts in my head. So many confusing events happened since we last met, but he was one person I could count on even during times like these. He was like a brother to me, and finally we were able to be reunited here. I opened the church door with a heavy creak. The darkness of the night filled the room beyond the door, and I couldn't see the face of the person there. I was sure the same went for him too.
ラバン？
シェド。
I could never mistake that voice. I heard footsteps approaching until we reached a distance at which we could both see each other's faces. His face looked so serious. Was he mad? I warily moved a step back after seeing an unfamiliar expression on his face. He kept closing in on me. That was scary. It was like, oh my god, he was slowly coming up and it's like FBI open up. Jesus. Oh my god.
よかった無事だ
Aw. His teary voice sounded like he was in pain. It was such a surprise. The fact that he hugged me was a surprise in itself, but I never knew Lavin could sound like this. I felt so sorry because it meant I caused him to worry that much.
生きててくれた
Lavin wrapped his arms tighter around me. His embrace was so strong it hurt.
お前を失ったかと思ったもうお前に会えなくなると思ったすまない今だけはお前に触れることを許してくれ
I was the one who should be apologizing, but I was speechless. Lavin's emotions and the strength of his arms, they were completely different from that of the Lavin I knew. Perfect timing, it really was. It's burning up. My right eye started to heat up. This is...
なんだ
Necklace Lavin wore glittered, and my right eye focused on it completely. His necklace was a chain that ran through a ring, and the stone on that ring must be...
ジェドどうしたジェド
Lavin was saying something, but I couldn't hear him. I would use my eye's power without fear, the witch's power. As if resonating with the magical stones gleaming, my right eye grew even hotter. A strange sensation enveloped my entire body. The worlds became inverted. What? What is this? Where am I? This was different from the world I lived in. It felt like I had come to a completely different place. This was what my witch's eye saw. Was this what was inside Lavin's heart? Was this what my power of clairvoyance could show me? Everything seemed distorted and made me feel uneasy. Was this what the inside of people's hearts were like? Or was it just Lavin? Oh yeah, where was Lavin? Was he only of this space here too? Or... Out of the many voices I heard, a child grew louder. Was he crying? No, he was growling, like an animal. A small boy appeared right before my eyes. Oh. He was sitting down holding his knees and staring into the empty void with bloodshot eyes.
ラバン死んだのに死んだのに消えないいつまでもあいつがあいつのせいで母さんあいつのせい俺はあいつの血が俺に流れてる嫌だ嫌だ死ね死んでしまえ
A display of hatred. It came out toward me like a dull light. You said a magical stone amplified the hatred within people's hearts. No, you shouldn't let yourself be controlled by those emotions. The glow of hatred emanated from Lavin's chest. The source was the ring that hung around his neck. No, if you accumulated even more hatred in it. I subconsciously reached out to the necklace. The darkness was instantly transmitted to me. The darkness which was being absorbed into my right eye. A sudden increase in heat caused me to retract my outstretched hand.
これが
This was what it meant to use the power of the witch's eye. To look into the heart of another. I understood. I understood who Lavin was talking about. It was Lavin's father.
ごめん見せてもらうよ
I reached out to the necklace one more time. My right eye burned and I felt a searing pain. A solitary heart, a heart torn by its own ideals. Lavin's heart filled with hatred for his father. The emotions gushed out like a flood, and amidst all that there was a slight sliver of light. Within the overwhelming darkness there was a single ray of hope. His memories with Jed. Oh, what? Was this me? We had been together since we were young. Memories popped up one after the other. Among them was the sight of me being embraced. These were Lavin's feelings for me. He has known I was a woman for a long time. Lavin's feelings. So the only way out of it is Jed. Oh boy. My vision returned to me. I was back at the church. Lavin looked at my face with a worried expression. I'm back. I made it back. I suddenly felt weak and fell to my knees.
おい、どうした？大丈夫か？
うん。ちょっとクラッとしただけだから。
Lavin moved quickly to hold me up. These were the same arms that embraced me earlier. Knowing what I just saw inside Lavin's heart, I felt embarrassed. That's right, I saw it. This was the first time I used his power, but I looked inside Lavin's heart. His hatred for his father had continued to grow since he was small. And I looked up at Lavin's face. He didn't know that I looked inside of him. He simply had a worried expression.
本当に大丈夫だから。
I had my sense of guilt and embarrassment as I pulled his arms away.
ラバン、俺の部屋に行こう。
お前の部屋？
うん。ここじゃ落ち着いて話もできないから。
I needed to start over with my emotions. I needed to fulfill my goals since I made Lavin come all the way here.
多分、いや、絶対に気分の悪くなるような話だけど。
ある程度覚悟はしてきた。
Here we go. I let Lavin through to the room that I myself was still new to. I slept on that bed for an entire day. Lavin took a seat there while I sat down on a chair a slight distance away.
それで気分が悪くなる話というのは？
ラバンはレビのことを知ってたの？
レビの何をだ？
レビが人を殺していたことを。
何？
街を騒がせてた連続殺人犯、黒い影。それがレビだったってこと。
笑えない冗談だな。
No, it's serious. I wished it were a joke. Lavin looked straight at me. I maintained eye contact.
本当なのか？
I just showed him the slash. Scar. I nodded.
間違いないんだな。
レビに直接確かめたわけじゃない。でも俺も切られたんだ。
I loosened my collar to expose my shoulder. It was mostly healed but still wrapped in bandages.
そんな。
He placed his hand on his forehead, dumbfounded. I knew it wasn't an act. Lavin didn't seem to know either. But there was one more thing I need to check.
これはある人から聞いた話だけど。
まだ何かあるのか？
レビのことを裏から操っていたのはフランシスカだって。
おい
His tone suddenly turned sharp. His anger was real.
まさかお前はそれを信じてるのか？母上がそんな人だと。
思わないよ。思いたくもない。
That was how I felt when Lucas first told me. But right now,
だけど
だけどなんだ。あり得る話だとそう思っているのか。
yes. I was actually starting to doubt Francesca despite her being someone I loved and respected. Lavin continued to glare at me. I started to have feelings of regret toward Francesca and Lavin. But even so, I couldn't gloss over things. What I saw is the truth. That was exactly why I glared back at Lavin. I stood my ground in silence. It was Lavin who flinched first. His glass softened and he looked down.
お前がそう思うだけの何かがあったということか。俺のせいだな。
He mumbled to himself with a sigh. I did not expect to hear that from him.
どうして？
俺が頼りないからだ。ボルグの次期当主として。だからレビも母上も
そんなこと
あるんだ。
He spoke so matter-of-factly. What made him feel so strongly about it? I waited for him to continue.
母上の前の当主。あの男は最悪だった。何もせず自分勝手で自由気ままで家にさえろくに帰ってこなかった。家族には心から嫌われていた。当然町の人たちからも。あの頃町の人の心はどんどんボルグの一族からは離れていった。そしてあの男はそんな状態の一族を捨てて
Oh,
逃げた。
the Lord before Francesco was a member of Lavin's family. That meant it was Lavin's. I remembered the glimpse I took inside Lavin's heart earlier. Although he couldn't see his face, young Lavin hated his own father.
母上はよく言っていたよ。当たり前だ。頼まれたってなるものかと思ってた。だから努力した。立派な当主になろうと。俺がボルグの一族を支えて繁栄させていこうと。あの男が消えてからもずっと。だけどできてなかったんだな。だからレビと母上にそんな真似をさせて。俺は何も変わらない。あの男と。
そんなことはない。
I didn't know what kind of person the previous Lord was, but I knew better than anyone how much Lavin toiled and suffered. And the reason why Levy went insane was because of the magical stone.
すまない。弱音を吐いた。こんなだからダメなんだ。
Oh great, now he has depression.
俺は
Congrats, Jed.
ダメなんかじゃない。自分のことをそんな風に言わないでくれ。
I respected Lavin and hated hearing him speak this way of his own existence. That's why my words came out as a reprimand. Lavin gave a very slight smile, and then his expression changed completely.
レビに直接確かめたわけじゃない。
あの日から会えてないんだ。
俺もだ。全力で探させてはいるんだが。
見つけたら俺にもすぐに教えてほしい。
もちろんだ。だが会ってどうする？
え？
レビがお前を切ったのは事実なんだろう。お前はレビのことを許せるのか？
Forgive him? My shoulder stung. The memory of Levy that night seemed to be relived once more. Blood splattered in front of my eyes, the bestial glare from Levy's eyes. The day I fell into the bone-chilling river.
わからない。
That's what I honestly thought. It wasn't about forgiving him or not. I didn't even think about that.
心配なんだ。レビが無事かどうか。あの日から ずっとひどい吹雪が続いていたし。
優しいんだな、お前は。それとも強いのか？
俺は強くなんてないよ。
いや、強い。子供の頃から変わらずにな。だから俺はお前に。
Lavin looked into my eyes. I felt the same sensation when I saw that ray of light inside Lavin's heart. They were the feelings that Lavin had for me.
ラバン。
さっき指輪が光った時、お前が俺の中に入ってくる感覚があった。
Oh shoot.
それともお前の持つ赤い目のなせる力なのか？
Lavin already knew. What should I do? I was hesitant about letting him know that I peeked into his heart.
ごめん。ラバンの気持ちが見えた。
I told him honestly, I didn't want to lie to Lavin any longer.
そうか。
And then he mumbled. He didn't even ask me what I saw or how I did it.
悪い。また変な話をした。今日はこれで帰らせてもらう。
あ、待って。
It's already quite late. I can see that it's snowing again. I didn't think it was right to let him go.
今日は泊まっていったら？
I said that in the same way that we talked as brothers. Lavin looked very bitter.
お前は見たんだろ？
うん。
ならそれがどういう意味になるか。
Well, Lavin stood up and approached me. I suddenly realized that he was a man coming closer to me. My body froze as if I was charmed, my mind swept away. Oh boy. Lavin placed his hands around my face. He lifted it up ever so gently, but his grip was
こ
strong.
こからはお前次第だ。
His tone was serious. Lavin's face was so close that I could feel his breath on me. My face was held in place so I couldn't look away or run.
俺は礼拝堂で寝るから、この部屋はラバンが使って。
そういうことを言ってるんじゃない。お前だって分かっているだろう。
This was the first time I felt scared of Lavin. He was not angry, he was simply serious. I had to give him a response. Oh, this is what we do. So for Lucas, you could do it was inconsiderate of me. Okay, it's what I will do. It was inconsiderate of me. There we go.
ごめん。配慮が足りなかった。
まったくだ。
I suppose any other option would have led to Lavin's route. Lavin let go. He moved farther away from my face, my body.
あんまり驚かせないでくれ。
His tone was complex, like he was relieved, but there was more to his voice than that.
じゃあ俺は帰る。いいな。
I should probably say before that, but oh well, I can skip the text to that point.
本当にごめん。
What if I can save and actually get the choice?
そんなに悪いと思っているなら。
Lavin moved closer to me again. I wasn't charmed or scared this time, but for some reason I couldn't move again. Lavin's movements were so natural that I accepted it. Oh my god, the kiss! Whoa! It's a gentle kiss on my forehead.
これくらいは許してくれるよな。
Couldn't answer. I wasn't happy or upset. I didn't have any of those types of emotions over what happened. It was just embarrassing. My entire face heated up. I'm sure my face was bright red. Fortunately, he didn't see it. He kissed me love and quickly exited the room. If he'd stayed here, I don't know what would have happened. Lavin and me. I couldn't bring myself to think about it anymore. The next day, I slept until the sun was high in the sky, but I still felt strangely tired. Was it because I slept at a strange time, or could it be from the lack of rest for the last few days? Or could it be the exchange with Lavin last night? I shook my head to try and wake up. I had no time to waste. What should I do now? I started to think about it. Then I noticed some commotion downstairs. I think Lauren said that many people come to visit during the day. I came here a few times before the masquerade, but it was always pretty empty. Could it be that there were more people because they are worried about what is happening around town?
Yoshi.
I knew what to do today. First I needed to get changed. I figured I could ask Elric where the clothes were.
神父様。
はい、何か。おや、その格好は。
I approached Lawrence as he oversaw the people visiting the chapel. I managed to trick him only for a moment. He knew that it would be just as a
外の様
woman.
子を見てくる。夜には戻るから。
それでその格好かい？わかった。十分に気をつけてね。
I'd only heard secondhand information about the current state of town. I hadn't seen it for myself. I had every intention of personally seeing how things were. I winked at Lawrence as I slipped through the crowd to exit the church. The blizzard had mostly abated, but the skies in town were still grey in colour. The moment I stepped into town, I realised something. It was dark. It was practically lifeless. There little else could be said about it. As someone who grew up in this town, seeing it in this state made me feel sad. There were some people sparsely populating the area. No one appeared to be talking. Sparsely. I couldn't help but compare it to the day of the masquerade. It hadn't even been that long since then. The sudden cry of a man pierced the air. It wasn't far from where I was standing. I think it's better that I stay out of view, but I moved as quickly as I could to the source of the cries, despite having difficulty with my long skirt.
話してくれ。俺は本当に何も。言い訳は後でいくらでも聞いてやる。さあ来い。
Though there were fewer people out and about, several uniformed men were gathered around the source of the cries. I tried to hide among the thin crowd to conceal my presence so I could see what would happen. The man was being dragged out of his home, and the other men were likely to be from the Hawk faction.
この男はボルグどもと結託して反逆を企てた。貴様らもよからぬ考えは起こさぬことだ。
Jeez. He shouted a threat to murmuring bystanders.
だから俺は知らないと。黙ってついてこい。いや
I heard a dull thud from the man being punched. I then heard a scream from the crowd. The man's unconscious body was dragged quietly away.
ひでえな。やりたい放題じゃねえか。ファルジの一族は。
めったなことおいでないよ。あんたまで捕まりたいのかい？
そりゃ勘弁だけどさ。でもよ。
ボルグの人たちが反逆を企ててるのは本当なんだろう？さあね、あたしゃ知らないよ。そんな物騒な話関わりたくもない。
Whispers among the crowd continued. Rumors must have flown about what Lavin and the other wolves were doing, and the Hawk clan seemed to know already. And it led to that man being taken away. I couldn't stop it despite it happening right in front of me. I couldn't even speak out against it. The only thing I could do now was to look down, bite my lip, and then move away from there. I felt so pitiful about myself. A sense of powerlessness overcame me as I walked back. Out in the distance I saw someone I recognized. Or rather someone I thought I recognized. I couldn't be sure of it at all. But still, I was compelled to run toward him. He was gone. I looked around but didn't see anyone resembling him. So I saw Levy. Maybe he wasn't really here. Ever since that day I hadn't seen Levy anywhere. I didn't even have an idea where he could be. I hoped he was alright.
弟の方見かけたよ。
A few days later, Ulrich spoke during dinner at the church. He suddenly started the conversation at random.
いつどこで？
ついさっき路地裏で人影を見つけてさ。霧でよく見えなかったけど、多分間違ってないと思う。
エルリック、夜に出歩いてはいけないといつも言っているだろう。
出歩いてたわけじゃないよ。ウサギを散歩に連れてっただけだ。
Poor rabbit.
どう違うんだ。散歩なら明るい時間に済ませて。
ロレンス、お説教は後にしてくれ。
Disciplining kids was important in its own right. There were more pressing things at hand. Ooh, thank you for Rage Chunk. Hello. Hello. Let me go over here. I need to do a thing for you. Please make sure I spell it correctly. I think that's right. That is right. That is right. Okay. That is correct. I'm glad I could spell it right. First try. Philippine YouTuber, hello. Hello, Lead Monkey, and hello, Chunk. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Thank you for raiding me, Chunk, and welcome all of the raiders. My voice sounds a bit dead today. It's just one of those days. Hello, Miko. Hello. Hi.
Ooh, looking cool, Joker.
Thank you for the follow, Lead Monkey. I hope you enjoy the dancing Morgana. Exhausted, say alright, how are you? I'm good. Apart from my voice being, well, completely destroyed. Apart from that, I'm alright. Monkey follow. I'm now cursed with 10% more derp. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
本当か？本当にレビだったのか？
Brother Monkey Dad jokes. Oh no.
本当だよ。僕のこと疑うの？
What are we playing? We are playing Psychedelica of the Ashen Hawk. We've been through a lot, so there is going to be, if you're literally just tuning in now, there is going to be quite a lot you do not understand. Because this is pretty late game stuff. This is like start of the end of the story is where I'm at currently. So there is a lot of things. I'll give you like a kind of summary. So basically, there's these magical stones that make people go crazy and insane. And there's certain people that have these, and we have to round them up and put them into this thing called a Kaleidovia, so we can hopefully bring peace and make everyone good again in this place. And we're looking for somebody who we haven't seen for a while because they turned out to be the serial killer called the Black Shadow. And they've slashed our main character Jed over here. And we've not seen him since then, so that's why Jet is very shocked at hearing that Elric has seen that person, which is Levy. There's a lot. That's just like what's important right now. And yeah, this is Elric and Lawrence, and Elric has a bunny. It's not a visual novel about birds tripping beak. It is not. You're completely wrong. But I can see why you would say that because of the title. No. With many dad jokes. Oh boy. Eric said he just saw Levy. That meant he could still be nearby. You ran out fast. By the time I realized it, I'd already run out of the church.
わざわざ探しに行ってあげてたのかい？
Worst original Bandera time would not barbecue. I mean, if it makes it any better, there's a character called Ashen Hawk. But no, he's not a he's not a hawk. He's not a bird. He is... I think he's a ghost or a spirit. He's like the ghost of a tower. I think. I don't even know if he's alive, like a human. I'm not even sure. All I know is he is the best person in this game. And I am very upset he's not romanceable. I'm saying perfect 1 out of 10 review, 1.5 out of 10. Honestly, for me, this is getting up there. This is like probably an 8 or 9 out of 10 for me. This game. As far as visual novels go, it's definitely one of the best ones that I've played.
なんで僕がそんなことすると思うわけ？
優しさからではないよね。レビ君に対して思うところがあるのかな？
Also, it seems like one of those psychological horror visual novels. Possibly. I mean, there's definitely a lot of thinking and connecting to do. There's a lot of connecting and thinking to do with this because there's a lot of lore points and it's a lot. But against visual novels, the 80% usual chaos and colors flying and flying. Yeah. I kind of like visual novels as a nice break from that. Just have something nice and chill. I don't necessarily like they go on for too long there, but this one, the story is so good, it keeps me invested so well that I don't mind. In fact, I don't really want it to end, if anything. But it will end at some point, and it's probably gonna end this year. It's probably gonna end start of December. I have enough points to get you to tweet something out. Oh no. If we've had anything on record from the past times, it's gonna be something that is not a good look for me. Let's just put it that way.
自分と似た何かを感じるとか。
はあ？そんなものあるわけないし。ごちそうさま。
ああ、待って、エルリック。くれぐれも気をつけてね。
As in, but people have tweet requested some wild things. Oh, it's foggy. The town at night was veiled in a thick fog. Scenery was supposed to be familiar, but the fog seemed thicker than usual today. Would I be able to find Levy in this fog? Ulrich said he was in the alleyway, but which one? There were tons of alleyways in this town. I realized how careless I was. Why didn't I ask for more details? Shouldn't I have told Lavin too? What should I do? Should I go back? But what if Levy disappeared in the meantime? Oh, it's Rabbit. All I ever wanted to do next, I heard an animal cry while hopping over to me.
よかった。まだ近くにいた。
エルリック、どうして？
ウサギが匂いで見つけてくれたんだよ。感謝しなよね。
Rabbit best bunny in the game.
そうじゃなくて、どうしてここにいるんだ？
誰かさんが話も聞かずに飛び出していくからだよ。
I would never admit that I was just about to return to ask for more details. It was such a surprise that he would come looking for me.
何ぼーっとしてるんだ。こっちだよ。
案内してくれるのか？
仕方ないだろ。あんた泥臭いから一人じゃ見つけられないだろうし。
Slow coach. Slow poke. Wow.
泥臭くはない。気持ちはありがたいけど、場所だけ教えてくれれば。
いいからこっち、早く。
Didn't think it was right to be walking through the unsafe parts of town with a kid this late at night. But then again, it wasn't the time to be arguing.
一応、赤の他人ってわけでもないからさ。
え？
なんでもない。ぐずぐずしてると置いてくからね。
So is there a few me fields when you get up and later see how you're doing? Okay, thank you for stopping by, Chunk, and thank you for the raid once again. I'll see you in a bit. I hope you enjoy your food. Any moment I took my eyes off him, his tiny bag had completely vanished in the fog. I moved quickly so I wouldn't lose sight of him. Anytime. Thank you. After walking with Ulrich for a few minutes, I started to hear someone else's footsteps. It sounded like someone stepping in sand. I stopped. Ulrich must have heard it too. He was looking in the direction of the sound.
ねえ、今。
ああ、わかってる。
I motioned with my hand for Ulrich to stop. And I started to approach the source. Oh, that's Levy, and not in a good way. Something was shining, two sparks in the darkness. There was a silhouette around those lights. Those lights were eyes. As I drew even closer, I realized what they were. Yeah, he's been completely consumed. He's still not right in the head. Levy's eyes, like those of a beast.
レビ？
I'm turning it down a bit. He's going to scream at me. No answer. I only heard strange breaths. He looked like an injured predator. Was this really the Levy I knew? Or was he a completely different person that had been taken over by the madness of the magical stone? Clearly, a different person than usual. Like, this is spooky. If only I could see what's inside Levy's heart. Would I be able to? Would it happen just love and it was entirely by accident? This time I would have to do it intentionally. I focused my entire being into my right eye. Jesus! Oh, I'm getting jump scared. This PTSD is scaring me. Levy moved before I could. I stood in front of Elric to protect him. I couldn't let Levy hurt anyone else. Levy jumped straight at me with a knife in his hand. I pulled away and dodged the tip of the knife.
何するんだよ。レビ、本当におかしくなったのか？
Clearly, I was impressed at how Elric wasn't afraid of the situation. But now was a really bad time for that. Levy reacted to Elric's voice and changed his target. I grabbed him to force him to stop, but he easily shook me off, throwing me against the wall. I didn't know he was this strong. When we wrestled as kids, we were about evenly matched. But thinking about it, it shouldn't have been a surprise. More than 10 years had passed since then, and Levy was also a man. I don't like how close you're getting. I hate this. Levy slowly walked up to me, but I couldn't move from the pain.
ジェド！
来るな！
I shouted to keep Elric at bay while I continued to glare at Levy. He'd completely gone insane. The ring on Levy's knife-wielding hand glimmered. The magical stone set in that ring gave off a dark glow.
それのせいなんだよね。
The ring with the magical stone shone with a dull light. As if reacting to it, my right eye also glowed red. It was the same as with Lavin. Levy's heart flowed into me. Oh, I'm not gonna like this. This is scary. In that moment, I felt chills. My entire body shook. I sensed an emotion that I had never felt before. It was an emotion that I could never accept. The slickness of blood, the stench of bloody chunks of flesh, along with the impulse and excitement that came with the act of taking lives. The desire to murder. If this was what Levy truly thought, this was everything that was Levy, then he had, without a doubt, gone truly mad. I felt like I would go insane too if I stayed there any longer. I felt sick, scared. I wanted to flee. I didn't want to look at it any longer. But I shook away the insanity that tried to flow inside of me. I tried to endure the pressing madness that tried to swallow me whole. This couldn't be the only thing here. I didn't know this, Levy, but there must be a vestige of the one I still... I didn't know this, Levy, but there must be a vestige of the one I did still in there somewhere. It must be somewhere inside this madness. Where was he? Where was Levy? Found him. Through the storm of lunacy, I saw Levy's tiny back. His head and shoulders were covered in snow. He must have been here for a long time. He was left there all alone.
全然落ちやしねえ。血も匂いも。洗っても洗ってもこんなにびっしりこびりついて。早く落ちろよ。なきゃ会いに行けないだろ。兄貴に母さんにも。 あいつにだって。
He was washing his hands. There was a puddle of water at Levy's feet. The water was stained with the color red and smelled of death. I walked through that red puddle, splashing it as I went. I took Levy's hand. He looked up, surprised. He was weeping. He was afraid of seeing me. I looked at Levy's hand in mine. It was filthy. Blood and oil gave it a dark red color. There were cracks in his skin because he had been washing with cold water all this time. And his hand was also cold as ice. Levy tried to move away, but I didn't let go of his hand. I gripped tightly so that my body heat could transfer to him.
逃げないで。大丈夫。
I know everything that you've done, Levy. Even so, I know you haven't changed at all. My sight returned to me. A powerful sense of dizziness and nausea overcame me. This was what Levy was feeling. Pain and suffering. A cry for help. Like two of them? He was crying deep down in his heart, but in this moment, he was holding a knife to me.
レビ。
Jesus, Jesus. He held his knife high up. No matter where he struck me, I would likely die. But
俺はレビを信じてる。
Levy's eyes opened wide. The knife came down on me. I kept my eyes open so I could watch until the very end. Oh. Blood danced in the air. Something warm and sticky splattered all over my face. The knife struck. It was close to my face, embedded in Levy's left hand. He's trying to stop the beast inside of him, oh my lord. A scream of pain, or perhaps it was more like a roar of defiance.
レビ
I tried to calm him down, holding him from collapsing to the ground, but in the next instant he bit down on my right shoulder. He's trying to fight it really desperately. His teeth dug deep through my clothes. It felt like he was tearing through my flesh. I couldn't see his expression from this position, but from the way his body shook, it felt like he was trying to endure something.
レビやめろ離れろって。
いいんだエルリック。このままで。
いいわけないだろ。早く手当てしないと。
いいから。
I spoke sternly to Elric while trying to maintain a calm voice. Still, it really hurt. But I'm sure Levy was enduring pain many times stronger than this.
今はレビの望むようにさせてやってくれ。
なんだよ。あんたら二人とも意味がわかんないよ。
The two of us tried to endure the pain while embracing each other. I didn't move and didn't resist either. I gradually felt the pain decreasing. Could it be that my shoulder was going numb, or is he loosening his bite? After a short sigh, Levy's mouth moved away from me. It wasn't the breathing of a beast, but that of a man.
シャドウ
レビ意識が。
ごめん。
すごく痛かった。
Finally, he overtook the beast. He's back. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
俺もだ。
It seemed that Levy's eyes were still clouded. The insanity might not have completely left him yet. But even through this short exchange, I could say one thing for certain. Levy was back.
そんなバカな怪我しといて痛いも何もないだろ。
Elric and Rabbit were mad. I would say I deserved it. It seemed that I kept these two in suspense the whole time.
僕は傷の手当てなんてできないからね。ローレンスに寄ってもらいなよ。
He picked up Rabbit and started walking away. It would be better if I returned to the church for now.
レビ歩ける？
悪い。肩を貸してくれ。
右側はちょっと貸せるような状態じゃないかもしれない。
反対側でいいから。
Two of us tried to support our weights by leaning on each other as we left town.
はい、こんなところかな。
He slapped my wound over the bandages. That hurt, that really hurt.
ローレンス何を？
まったく、二人ともバカな怪我をしてきたものだね。
My protest was cut short by his lecturing voice. Stupid wound? I just heard that not too long ago. He was exactly right, so I didn't have the will to talk back. Although it might be a stupid wound, Levy's was much more serious, causing his to take longer to treat. Lawrence was able to get to me only after the sun started to shine through the church windows.
本当にごめんな。
よ、気にしないで。
I didn't need him to apologize anymore, especially after what he went through. I was glad he's back to normal.
もう大丈夫なんだよね。
ああ、多分。
だったら聞きたいことがある。多分答えづらいこともたくさんあると思うけど、いいかな。
全部話すよ。でもお前昨日から寝てないだろ。俺はもうどこにも逃げたりしないからさ。
He was right, Levy and I both hadn't slept. We were both injured, so it would be better to rest for now. But right when I saw that a loud banging noise echoed through the church, as the door was flung
レ
open.
ビ
ラバン？
兄貴。
The source of the voice was light shining from behind him was, without doubt, Lavin. What was he doing here?
呼んできたんだよ。二人ともしっかり叱られた方がいいと思って。
I see, so those two are the reason for it. I didn't know if I should praise them for being considerate or reprimand them for doing something entirely unnecessary. Either way, the choice of resting a little was completely thrown out. Only a little time was needed for everyone to calm down. It was then followed by silence. We had the opportunity to talk, but I didn't know how to start. Seeing Livy in the light of day revealed that he was completely weakened. It made me reluctant to ask him anything in that state. I wondered if he had been hiding somewhere since that day, all the while being tortured by his own insanity. Unable to stand by any longer, Lon was the one to open his mouth first.
お前が人を殺していたというのは本当なのか？
Bit direct. One focused on Levy. After a long time, Levy nodded. He affirmed it, so it was true. I knew it already, but seeing him admit it really pained me.
どうしてだ？お前が手を汚す必要なんてどこにも。
初めはさ、偶然だったんだよ。
He started to mumble in a low voice. I didn't want to listen, but I had to. I focused my ears so that I didn't even miss a single word.
いつ頃だったかな。母さんがさ、全然話を聞いてくれない人がいるって困ってたんだ。で、街の中で偶然そいつを見かけて、ちょっと話をつけようと思ったんだ。どうしても母さんの言うこと聞かないなら、少しくらい痛めつけてやろうかなって。本当にそれだけのつもりだったんだ。
それでその人を？
驚かすつもりで殴ったらさ、血が出たんだよ。軽くだったから、多分ちょっと口の中を切ったくらいだったんだろうけど。なのにさ、それ見た瞬間、わけがわからなくなってさ、全身が一気に熱くなって、すげえ興奮して。それで気づいたら、そいつのこと
殺していたのか？
And Levy noted immediately.
その時、初めて知ったよ。気づいたって言った方がいいのかな。俺、人を殺すことが好きなんだって。殺人衝動というやつかな。
Murderous impulse. The love of killing. I knew what the words meant, but I could never understand it. Was it something like a small child pulling the wings off of insects? That emotion could be felt toward fellow humans as well.
無理に理解とかしようとしない方がいいよ。普通の人には分かんないって。
まるで自分はわかるみたいな言い方だな。
そんなわけないだろ。分かんないよ、僕だ。
お前のその
性癖とでも言えばいいのか。それを知ってるのはここにいる人間だけか。
I wonder if that's why he didn't like eating meat.
いや、母さんに話した。
フランシスカに？
当たり前だろ。真っ先に話したよ。
Francisca knew about this. I was reminded of what Lucas told me. He said that Francisca was the one pulling the strings behind the murders. Then it's true.
殺しちまった後にさ、すぐに頭が冷えたんだよ。やばいことしちまったって。母さんに迷惑をかけるって。
それでフランシスカはなんて？
褒めてくれた。
え？
What?
よくやったって褒めてくれたんだ。すげえびっくりした。ひっぱたかれるか泣かれるかなって思ってたのにさ、母さんは笑顔で褒めてくれたんだ。
He must have been thinking about Francisca. Made an always childish smile. I, in contrast, was feeling some despair. So it was true. Francisca used Levy.
ただ、バレたら面倒なことになるからって後処理とかはいろいろやってもらった。これからは気をつけなさいって。このナイフを使うようになったのも母さんに言われてからだし。
He looked so happy. To him, that knife must not be a murder weapon, but a keepsake that reminded him of Francisca. Lavin and I were speechless. Lavin seemed to be more in shock since I had already begun to suspect Francisca. Levy's confession continued.
それからさ、ますます殺すことが快感になって。だってそうだろ、俺は殺すのが好きだし、その上母さんにまで褒めてもらえるんだ。やめる理由なんてこれっぽっちもない。 本気で言ってるのかい？そんなことが許されるとでも。それにさ、兄貴が手を汚すこともなくなるだろ。俺が先に邪魔な奴を殺しておけばさ。
俺が？
兄貴にはさ、綺麗でいてほしかったんだ。思慮深くて頼りになってみんなの憧れ、誰もが認める当主になれるような、そんな兄貴のまま。
They wanted him to succeed, and that's why they did it.
母さんも多分そうだったんじゃないかな。だから俺のことを褒めてくれたんだ。ラバンの香りに汚れてくれてありがとう。ラバンの香りに血を流してくれるなんていい子ねってさ。
お前そんなことを考えた？
だからずっと続けてきたんだ。俺が人殺しをするのは一族のためなんだって。母さんと兄貴のためなんだって。
Lavin's horrified.
でも実際のとこはどうだったんだろうな。自分でもよくわからない。やっぱり自分の欲望を満たすためだけに殺してたんじゃないかって。だってさ、俺は。
Levy looked at me. When our glances met, I quickly turned away. He had been smiling in a self-depreciating way earlier. His expression gradually darkened. The wound that Levy gave me still stung, although it could almost be completely healed.
血を見ると衝動を抑えられなくなるんだよ。自分の中に別の何かがいるみたいでさ。そいつが騒ぎ出すんだ。相手が誰だって関係ない。お前の血を見て頭が真っ白になって、気づいたら血のついたナイフを握りしめてた。
Lucas saved me when I was unconscious. If it weren't for him right now, I'd be...
俺は死んでない。この通りピンピンしてる。
ああ、本当によかった。もしお前が死んでたら
お前のことを殺してたら俺はどうなってたかわからない。
レビ。
レビ君はいつから魔石を持っていたんだろう。
Man joined in the conversation without anyone noticing his entrance. Everyone jumped up and turned to the source of the voice.
これは失礼。驚かせてしまったね。
Oh, it's Hugh. Hello.
誰だよあんた。
ヒュー、いつからそこに？
スノードロップの装置にいた男か。
One exclaimed in surprise. Lawrence and Elric, on the other hand, seemed to be disgusted by the whole ordeal.
やれやれ、今日は珍客が多いようだ。
ちゃんと鍵はかけておいたのに、どこから入ってきたんだ。
ラバン君は覚えていてくれたんだね。お久しぶりというほどでもないかな。今の話聞いて。
ジェド、こいつ誰なんだよ。
この男は。
The entire atmosphere was in chaos. It would be better if I gave a proper explanation to everyone. He picked up Levy's left hand, completely ignoring the confused crowd.
おい、何を。
動かないで。これは。
Levy was still wearing the ring with the magical stone set in it. When he looked at the stone now, it didn't appear to give off that glow.
濁っている。君はかなり強く影響を受けたんじゃないかな。
影響？つか、あんたは誰なんだよ。
僕の質問にも答えてほしいな。レビ君はいつからこれを？
いつからって。
子供の頃からだ。俺も一緒にもらった。
Okay, who gave it to you?
うちの一族に伝わるものだからな。なるほど。だから五章を大事に身につけているんだね。レビ君もラバン君も。失礼。それは今は関係ない話だった。
ヒュー、レビは影響を受けていると言ったな。
Still hadn't told Lavin and Levy about the stones. I was the only one who understood what Hugh was talking about.
レビの殺人衝動も魔石のせいなのか。
完全にそうだとは思えないけどね。小さな種火のような思いを増幅させただけかもしれないし。
それはつまり
狼の子は狼だからね。
He was being so ambiguous. Didn't know how he should take that message. Was he saying that even without the magical stone, Levy would have eventually gone out and murdered someone? Or would that desire not ever have surfaced if it weren't for the stone?
さて、僕は席を外すよ。君は二人に説明しなきゃいけないことがあるだろうから。
By Hugh. He appeared uninvited and left similarly on his own accord. I'd seen him many times already at that point, but I still didn't understand him. But I would deal with him later. I turned back to the two who were quietly watching my exchange with Hugh.
話しておかないといけないことがある。二人が持っている魔石について。
Yeah. I explained everything I knew to them. I told them about Kaladabia and about the magical stones. Among the remaining magical stones, Olga owned one of them. I also told them that it could have led to the death of Francisca as well.
それじゃ、この石のせいで俺は。
Levy still appeared to be doubting it. We would take Hugh's word for it, the magical stone wasn't the only thing at fault. Levy had his own issues, and that would mean Olga did too. But there was no point in thinking about that now.
だから、それは俺の方で預からせてほしいんだ。
ああ。
Levy didn't appear to be fixated on it at all. He removed the ring and carelessly tossed it at me.
一応聞いとくけどさ、そいつを持ってたら今度はお前がなんてことはないよな。
大丈夫だよ。これはカレードビアと一緒に保管しておく。できればラバンのもそうしてほしいんだけど。
Laban thought a bit while looking at his accessory. What he said next were words of rejection.
いや、俺は自分で持っておく。
どうして？
オルガが狙っているんだろう。だったら、一箇所にまとめておくのは危険だ。
He did have a point. He just saw the danger of the magical stones, but he was being calm about it. But for Laban there were also risks.
それで兄貴がおかしくなっちまったらどうすんだよ。
俺は、狂気に飲まれたりしない。
嫌味かよ。
違う。お前が汚れ役を請け負ってくれたから、俺は今まで平静でいられた。だから俺は大丈夫だ。
兄貴。
それでいいか、ジェド。
うん。でも気をつけてね。少しでもおかしな予兆を感じたらすぐに教えてほしい。
わかった。肝に銘じておく。
話はまとまったみたいだね。一度ここまでにしておこう。
As if waiting to say it, Lawrence jumped in the conversation.
みんな少し休んだ方がいいだろう。特にレビ君は長いこと落ち着いていなかっただろうし。
Levy heaved a short sigh as if he just remembered how tired he was.
空いている部屋を好きに使ってくれていい。それに、そろそろ礼拝の人も訪れる時間だからね。人目についてしまう前に解散しよ
We all listened to Lawrence's advice. We were all tired, but we also needed to think about what to do from that point onward. Laban returned to the Wolf Clan's hideout. Levy would stay at the church in a room different from mine. So promising to meet again, we all headed back to sleep. I'm gonna save here just in case. Upon entering the room, I let myself fall onto the bed. It hurt. My right eye hurt more than my shoulder where Levy bit me. Feels like it sucked in the bad energy. Once I realized the pain, my entire body started to feel fatigued. It felt like heavy mud was accumulating in my body. What should I do? I was tired, but I still felt alert. Endless thoughts ran through my mind and fear started to arise. I found out about Levy and Francisca. If I continued on this path, I would likely come across truths I didn't want to know. I shook my head and sat up. I didn't think I could fall asleep at this rate. I tried to take a breather. I believe it's go to the chapel, right? Wait, can I save here? Oh, I can save at the choice. I should have just done that. Right, I'll do that. I'll make sure to save at the points. And then can just go from there. So it's go to the chapel. I'm guessing if you pick that, that's Levy's route. So we're going to go to the chapel. I exited the room and secretly checked out the chapel. Not a lot of time had passed, but just as Lawrence said, there were quite a few people already there. I'd catch people's attention if I went out dressed like this, but I hesitated to purposely change into women's clothes. While I was waffling, I saw Hugh out the corner of my eye. Still here? He was in the shadows right under the stained glass window. That position was like a blind spot that most people would overlook. Hugh noticed that I was approaching him, and he gave a bright smile. I didn't talk to him, I just looked up at the same stained glass window where he was looking.
このステンドグラスを作った職人はその日の食事にも困るほど困窮していたらしい。
She spoke. Though I had no artistic ability, I thought that the window looked beautiful. Even someone who could make something like this would have trouble making a living.
何でも町の平和と人々の幸せを願って作られたものだとか。でもね、その職人は結局貧困に負けてしまうんだ。お金のため、自分の家族のために人を裏切ってしまう。
詳しいんだな。
興味深い物語だったからね。君はこの職人は罪を犯したと思うかい？
I don't know.
罪かどうかはわからないけど、人を裏切ったならそうなんじゃないか。
Yeah.
うん、君の意見は正しい。でもね、自分の幸せを願うことは決して悪いことじゃないだろう。
それは願うだけなら。
願うだけじゃ手に入れられない幸せもある。その場合、願うことそのものがすでに罪なのかな。
What was with this man? Did he stick around just to say this nonsense to me? He appeared out of nowhere and also disappeared at randoms too. He was like Ashen Hawk. You must have noticed my stare. Hugh continued on.
僕は旅人だよ。
亡霊なんじゃないかって考えてた。
亡霊か。それもいいね。
For some reason I wanted to continue the conversation. A conversation about nothing with this suspicious self-proclaimed traveler.
僕はね、長い長い旅を続けている。訪れた先々で興味深い事柄を式にまとめながら。その旅の中で昔この町に立ち寄ったことがあるんだ。
昔？
その時の町は太陽が眩しく輝き、花が咲き乱れる明るい町だった。つい読みかけだった物語も気になってね。季節が2度変わるまで滞在してしまったんだ。
俺は見たことがないけど、この町が雪に覆われるようになったのって
17年前だよ。いや、雪が強くなったのは10年前か。
Who would that be?
きっと町のみんなは本物の太陽のことを忘れてしまっているだろうね。マスカレードの一節は春や夏を祈求する祈りとなってしまった。
朝に夕べに夜更けにも町人たちは春の声を聞くよ。
17年前まで見ていたものを忘れてしまった人たち。そう、人は忘却する生き物だ。だから僕を亡霊だと思う君の感性はあながち間違いでもない。
いや、本当に亡霊だと思ってるわけじゃ。
僕のこの姿も声もいずれみんな忘れていく。それなら今誰かの目に映る僕は、それはその誰かの印象でしかない。本当にいるかどうかもわからない。特にこの街ではね。
何を言ってるんだ？ヒューはいるじゃないか、俺の目の前に。
本当にそうかい？
ヒューが言いたいのはそういうことじゃないのかもしれないけど、人は自分の目に映るものを信じるしかないだろ。俺の目にヒューは見えているし、だからこうして会話もしてる。
ありがとう。それは僕にとって一番嬉しい言葉だ。
Seemed to thank me sincerely, which made me feel abashed. I didn't think I was saying anything out of the ordinary.
うっかり雪の街に閉じ込められてしまったけど、その中でもこんな素敵な出会いがある。決めた。
何を？
君に肩入れすることを。ただの傍観者でいようと思っていたけど、たとえどんな結果になろうとも、僕は君の選択を受け入れよう。
はい。 He reached out to touch my cheek, and then he gently pulled me toward him. His lips touched my other cheek. I didn't dislike it. It was a very natural kiss from what I sensed goodwill. Then I suddenly got the urge to complain after seeing a teasing smile on Hugh's face.
どういうつもりだ?
He rubbed my cheek where he kissed.
気に障ったかい?
当たり前だ.
I didn't mean that, but Hugh probably knew it. We didn't chat about anything significant, but I felt closer to Hugh now. That was a feeling I got. I wondered if Levy was already asleep. I stood in front of his room and perked my ears. He was groaning. Why would he be? Were his wounds still hurting? Or...
レビ、入るよ!
I had a bad feeling about this. I opened the door wide without knocking.
ジェダ。
He was holding his head between his hands, but upon my entry he jumped up in surprise. Even from the doorway I could tell that he looked extremely pale.
どうしたの? まだ痛む?
I called out to him while walking over.
いや、俺はなんとも。
なんともないはずないだろ。真っ青だ。落ち着いて。大丈夫だから。
Sat next to him on the bed and started rubbing his back. He was shaking and his shirt was drenched in sweat. I asked him slowly to calm him down. As soon as shaking stopped and his heavy breathing also slowed.
ごめん。
Mumbled in a teary voice.
思いっきり噛みついちまって。
いいよ。もうなんともない。
あのガキにも怖い思いさせちまったよな。
どうかな。エルリックが怖がるなんて想像つかないけど。
お前のことも、あいつがいたことも分かってなかったんだ。それくらいおかしくなってた。お前を切った時から。
もう過ぎたことだよ。
The wound had healed and the pain was completely gone. But the wound in Levy's heart still hadn't healed. He still felt guilt and regret over what he did.
あの時、俺もうダメだと思った。もう完全に人間じゃなくなっちまったって。ずっと俺が殺した奴らの影に俺に怯えてた。ずっと見られてた。そこにお前の血が重なって。
Levy's eyes wandered. He looked afraid as if there were a ghost right in front of him.
死んで終わりにしようと思ったけどできなかった。一番傷つけたくない奴を殺しちまったのに自分のことは殺せなかった。魔石のせいなんかじゃない。俺の手でお前を殺した。
Buzzed out those words of regret and started shaking again. I wanted to get him to calm down. He pulled his shoulder toward me a bit roughly.
さっきも言っただろ。俺は生きてる。生きてピンピンしてる。ほら、心臓の音がするだろ。ちゃんと暖かいし、ちゃんと生きてるよ。
Our hearts seemed to beat together.
ちゃんとレビも暖かいから大丈夫だから。
I held him close and rested my cheek on his head. We could feel each other's body heat and they seemed to melt together.
お前だけは
But he also leaned on me as if entrusting me with his body. He called me the person he wanted to protect the most. I wanted what he meant by that. I thought about asking, but before I could, Levy continued.
おかしくなってた時ずっと寒いとこにいたんだ。そこにお前が来てくれた。逃げるなって言ってくれた。お前が男でも女でも関係ない。ボルグの意
族じゃなくても、たとえファルジだったとしてもそうだ。お前がそばにいてくれれば、俺にはお前が必要だったんだ。
His voice softened as he seemed to go into a daze. He must be so tired. I wanted to get him to sleep.
お前のことが好きなんだ。
He said words made me jump. Even they came from someone half asleep and in a lot of pain. In what way? Like a brother or? As my body moved out of reach, like Slubby's body lost its support and fell into his hands. On the hand that had been punctured.
あ、ごめん。手の方は。
ああ、もう使い物にならないかもしれねえな。
He said something so grave as if it were nothing. Seems to act relieved while he looked at his hand.
この程度じゃ罪の償いにもならねえし、お前さえ生きててくれれば、こんな手どうなっても。
レビー。
It was a fact that there was a side of Levy I didn't know. That didn't mean the side of Levy I did know was a lie. Levy was still himself.
もう寝た方がいいよ。しばらくついててあげるから。
I moved Levy's limp body on his side on the bed.
あのさ、一個だけ聞いていいか。
何？
お前さ、あの後どうやって助かったんだ？
ルーガスに助けてもらった。
ルーガスに？
I hesitated briefly but decided to be honest about it. Levy looked suspicious, as I expected. He appeared to be convinced at the answer.
そっか。ファルジにいいやつがいても不思議じゃないよな。
Mm-hmm.
ボルグにだって俺みたいなのがいるんだし。
Saying that, Levy dozed off quietly. Knowing he would be fine now, I stared at his sleeping face for a little longer. He looked so tired, but there was something about his face that appeared relieved. Levy could have been under the influence of the magical stone, I wouldn't have known. But because he had been completely under its effect, he looked so worn out. I wondered if Olga also looked like this when he went mad from his magical stone. I wondered how Lucas and T would see their father. Chapter 8.
まだ見つからんのか、ボルグの息子どもは。
Chapter 8, oh boy. I'm gonna go through a bit of this, but I won't go through all of it, of course. I'll just go through a bit.
申し訳ありません。共謀者たちは大方捕らえたのですが。
にもかかわらず、なぜ見つからない。これ以上は言わん。一刻も早く手に入れろ。我が望みを叶えるカレイドビアを。
He was not speaking out of anger. He left us in the glow of an overpowering aura. To be honest, I felt suffocated. Father has changed.
兄様
T
As if to replace Olga, T peeked into the room daintily.
盗み聞きしていたのか。
盗み聞きなんてしてませんわ。覗き見ていただけですもの。
同じことだ。まったくお前は。
最近のお父様、なんだかいつもと違う。おかしい気がしますわ。何かあったのかしら。
お疲れなのかもしれない。
そう。あ、だったらお兄様、花を摘みに行きませんこと？
花？
ええ、お父様を慰めるために。ダメかしら。
いや、いいだろう。
highly doubted it would return. I highly doubted it would return father to his usual self, but I wanted to listen to my younger sister's kind-hearted suggestion. The town was completely quiet. Everyone on the streets maintained their focus on the ground and walked quickly.
どうした？暗い顔をして。さっきまでははしゃいでいたのに。
別にはしゃいでなんか。街が静かだなって思いましたの。
Yeah, it's because of Olga's strong iron hold grip.
そうか。
街の人、私を見ると逃げ出してしまうの。誰も話しかけてなんてくれない。
It's fair.
主の一族はすっかり嫌われてしまったわ。町の人だけじゃない。ハクも気づいたらいなくなっていましたわ。
Oh.
あんなにお父様に忠実だったのに。ねえ、お兄様。
なんだ？
お兄様はお父様を見捨てたりしませんわよね。
T。
私怖いの。お父様はこの町はどうなってしまうの？
Was actually clung onto me, shivering.
しがみつくな。歩きづらい。
でも
大丈夫だ。
I wanted to get her to calm down, so I gave her a strong embrace.
お兄様。
いずれまたあの賑やかな日々が戻ってくる。それまで耐えるんだ。
はい。
What was going on? Why were those two hugging? I happened upon them completely by accident. I wanted to take a look around town to see if anything had changed in Levy's absence as the murderer. I evaded watchful eyes as I slipped through the town's back alleys and came across this. Those two are siblings.
父上に拾われたことで俺の人生は変わった。
No, Lucas said that Olga... No, Lucas said that Olga adopted him, meaning those two aren't related by blood. Then could it be that they have that kind of relationship? Could it be possible? It might be. The reason why I even became close to Lucas in the first place. I remember taking the job of telling him about the breakup.
ちょっと気味が悪いっていうか、その人ね、私に何もしようとしないの。いかにも周りとの付き合いで来ましたって感じで、ずっとつまらなさそうな顔をしているの。
面倒なことは最初に済ませてしまおうと。
What if that was already someone he was with? This was stupid, it was based on suspicion, but still, an inexplicable feeling gathered in my heart. What was this? Why did I feel this way? Whoever Lucas wanted to hug had nothing to do with me. I should go back to the church. Right, it would be trouble if these two saw me. I needed to get out of here as soon as possible.
どこに行っていた？
ラバン来てたのか。
Laban was at the church. There were no other parishioners around. It was just him and Levy.
聞いているのはこっちだ。どこに行っていた？
あ、うん。ちょっと街の様子を見に。
本当にそれだけか？
本当だよ。どういう意味？
いや、なんか顔色悪いからさ。
そんなことは。
あまり軽はずみな行動はするな。
うん。ごめん。
とてもじゃないが、見ていられなかっただろう。
何が？
だから街の様子がだ。見てきたんじゃないのか？
あ、うん。そうだったね。
やっぱりお前、なんかおかしいぞ。
本当に何でもないって。それよりラバン、わざわざ来てるってことは 話があるんだろ？
Because the topic's short, I shouldn't feel agitated just because of what I saw. I was completely fine.
以前話したことがあったな。俺たちがオルガを撃つ計画を
Oh, yeah.
立てていると。
This plan. I remembered the plan I was left out of. I didn't know why my thoughts were so negative. This wasn't like me.
計画はまだ進行中だ。だが非常に難航している。協力者が次々と捕まっているせいでな。
ファルジの一族がやってるっていう。
ああ、白昼人目もはばからないから町の人間はすっかり怯えてしまっている。
I saw it with my own eyes. Did you do that on a daily basis?
いくら協力者を集めてもその分捕まっちまうってことか。それじゃ意味ねえな。
だがまだ手立てはある。最近のやりように不満を覚えているのはボルグだけじゃない。ファルジの中にもそういう一派はいる。
Yeah.
その人たちを味方につけるってこ
それ大丈夫なのか。もしうまくいったって味方を裏切ってくるような奴ら信用できんのかよ。
一時的にでも協力してくれればそれでいい。再び裏切るかどうかはこちらの度量次第だろう。
と？味方になってくれそうな人に心当たりはあるの？
もちろん数人に目星はつけてある。
Lucas and T, of course.
ルーガス君はどうなんだろう。
あ、
It's jumped into the conversation out of nowhere. Not only that, but he mentioned a surprising name.
ルーガス？
そこまで驚くようなことかい？
あ、いや、つい。
そういやあいつお前のことを助けてくれたんだよ
それはそうだけど。
助けられたお前がそういう反応をするのか。もしかして何かされたのか。
何かって？
口では言えないようなことだ。
はあ。そうなのかよジェド。
ない、何にもされてない。まあないとは言われたけ
よく聞き取れなかったが。
ど。いや、気にしないでくれ。
真面目な話どうだ。脈があるとは思えないか。
I don't know about that. It was hard to think of this on an objective level, but I did think it might be possible. He knows about the magical stones, but still.
オルガを撃つということなら難しいと思う。でも魔石を奪うことなら、オルガを魔石から解放することなら協力してくれるかもしれない。
なるほどな。
どうする兄貴。
内部での意見調整が必要になるな。オルガ個人を恨んでいる者も多い。
そんなのんきなこと言ってる時間あるのかよ。
当然ない。早急に進める。意見がまとまったとしてもルーガスを捕まえないと話にならないしな。
ラバンが説得するの？
立場的に俺が行くのが筋だろう。
I wanted to volunteer to do it, but I stopped myself. I didn't think I could see Lucas right now. It was most proper for the heir of the wolves to try to negotiate with the heir of the hawks. There was no reason for me to interfere.
話はまとまったみたいだね。それじゃあお茶でも入れてこよう。なんだかみんなこわばった顔をしているし。
That face I was making could be because of what I saw. Why do I have to feel like this because I saw those two? Back in the memories. My mind was in a haze, my consciousness adrift. I propped myself up and daydreamed. Was I not in the room at the church? This was my room, my own room at the tower. When did I come back? What was I doing here? Something touched my cheek. Was this someone's hand? Two arms reached around me. I needed to push them away, but I couldn't move. Why? Because I was hurt. That's right, I was injured and couldn't move. Levy cut me and Lucas treated my wounds. I don't have the strength to fend for myself. Isn't there anything I can do? Her hands went past my cheek and moved slowly downward. Her hands traced my neck, my shoulder, and then... Whoa.
その男を愛しく思っているの
A sudden cry. It was a woman's voice, a voice that wasn't Lucas's. It was someone I recognized. That's right. This voice.
私を殺したその男のこと
Huh? It was Francisca's. Oh god. Oh god, that's a nightmare. It jumped up awake. This was the room in the church. What I just saw was nothing but a dream. Even though I knew that, my heart continued to pound.
どうして
I mumbled to myself. Why would I have that kind of dream? Why would I dream of Lucas sleeping with me? Oh well. He was the man who killed Francisca. Why would I desire something like that? That wasn't true. I didn't want it to be true.
気持ち悪い
I didn't want to admit to this disgusting feeling. No, this was too... Was I able to sleep after that? I didn't know for sure. I mulled over the feeling, and by the time I realized it, it was already morning. Lawrence called from the breakfast table, so I managed to drag myself over. I really didn't have an appetite though.
食べないの？
うんちょっとね
Alaric was there too, but I could only manage to say that in an indifferent tone. I felt sorry if he was genuinely worried for me.
ひどい顔してるよ。無理してでも食べた方がいいんじゃない？
うん
何かあったのかい？
Something did, but I couldn't tell them about my dream. Although I might feel better if I discussed it with them. Maybe I could just gloss over that portion of it.
夢にフランシスカが出てきたんだ
あ
I must have realized something. Lawrence didn't say anything more. However, children with no sense of reservation could sometimes help progress these situations.
フランシスカってファルジに殺された人でしょ？
うん
その人に会いたいの？
どうかなもし会いたくても会えないし
ふん。死んだ人に会える場所があるっておとぎ話知ってる？
おとぎ話
エルリック、どこでその話を？
Oh no. That was unexpected. Alaric always had an oddly mature way of looking at things. To learn today, I was surprised to hear him talk about fairy tales.
どこだったかな？誰かに聞いたような気がするんだけど。
そうか。はっきりとは覚えてないんだね。
もしそんな場所があったら誰に会いたい？
誰にそうだな
Hawk. The first thing that came to mind was Ashen Hawk's face. I laughed at myself for thinking that. Ashen Hawk wasn't even dead. Who else do I want to meet?
本当の両親に会ってみたいかな
あんたの両親死んでるんだ。
さあ実はそれすら知らないんだ顔だって見たことない
なんだよそれ。
Thanks to Alaric, I felt somewhat better. Just a little while before I was so nauseous. I felt now that I could eat some breakfast. I best reach little to regain my strength. I continued to have nightmares for the next few days. Francisco wasn't there. The dreams I had were filled with flames. I heard someone's voice. Who was that? Was someone screaming?
ここに魔女が。
今なら魔女は抵抗できない。
この雪は魔女の仕業だ。だったら魔女を殺せば。魔女は殺せ。
魔女は殺
魔女は殺せ。魔女は殺せ。魔女は殺せ。
That all we see killed the witch? It doesn't end. The nightmare doesn't end. Not yesterday, not today. I was sure it would be the same tomorrow and the day after that. I would continue to have this dream, surrounded by dancing fires, with people burning up in flames. Years. That day I wandered around town aimlessly. I admitted it was quite careless of me. There was nothing else for me to do. I felt that my heart would continue to become even more depressed if I stayed still. The whereabouts of the last magical stone was unknown. Lavin and Levy's plan was also at a standstill. The faction couldn't come to an agreement on their plans, and they weren't able to make contact with Lucas yet. In other words, our hands were tied. On a personal level, I felt both extremes of wanting to see Lucas and refusing to see him. It was because I dreamed of us holding each other. I saw something while walking. Maybe Lucas could be over there, at that snowdrop field in the middle of the forest. Lucas was over there alone that day. Maybe I would be able to talk to him without worrying about other watchful eyes. Chances of that were probably low, and I wasn't entirely safe even if I did meet him. He might roll his sword at me just like he did then. But still, I might be able to see Lucas. It wasn't that I wanted to see him personally. I needed to see him so that... Yes, it was better to tell him about Lavin's plan beforehand. Yes, that was a good reason. I seemed to be making excuses trying to convince myself. Although I knew that full well, my legs were already walking towards the snowdrop field. I went through the forest as best as my memory served. It was so bright out, so it was unlikely that I would get lost. I could hardly wait to see him. I just didn't know why I felt this way. I saw the forest opening into a vast land covered in white. It wasn't snow. These were snowdrop flowers. But right now the flowers weren't what I was looking for. I looked around. Could it be? I saw someone there. Was it him? I completely forgot my sense of caution and moved towards the silhouette. I soon realized that silhouette didn't belong to the person I was looking for. They noticed me approaching and turned to me. It was someone much smaller than me.
T.
What was T doing here? No, it wasn't strange for her to know this place. Maybe she heard about it from Lucas. From Lucas. A slight burning sensation touched my heart.
Ah, ありがとう。T は何をしていたの？
これを摘みに特に綺麗なのを選んでましたの。
In her hands I saw a few snowdrop flowers she held gently.
最近お父様がお疲れみたいで、これを見て元気になってくれたらって思って。
It was to cheer up her father. What was this girl saying? Did she know what her father did? He murdered Francisca, and she's speaking with a huge smile to someone who was raised by Francisca.
まさかジェド様にお会いできるなんて。
She doesn't know.
もちろんこのことは誰にも言いませんわ。私とジェド様だけの秘密。
She's so innocent. Innocent. No, this level I would call her ignorant. I thought of such dark emotions. How was she able to smile like that? As if it had nothing to do with her. Did she think that she was in a place far away from all the bloody incidents? In that case, she's that oblivious to the crimes of her clan.
俺も嬉しい。T に会えて、君に。
ジェド様が私に。
The girl's cheeks blushed at my smile and brazen lies. She was easy.
知っていると思うけど、俺は今大変な状況に巻き込まれてる。
はい。
I scooped up a lock of her hair. I could tell from its silky smoothness that she cared for it daily. I've never grown out my hair myself. She jumped in surprise and looked up at me. Put my finger on her chin to hold her gaze to mine. I slowly moved my face closer to hers. This manipulation. I wonder, does Jed have the last piece?
君の力を借りたい。
私の力？
オルガが、君のお父様がいつも持ち歩いている指輪を知っているかい？
指輪？そういえば最近はずっと大事そうに。
それを持ってきてほしい。
でもそんなことをしたらお父様が悲しまれるかも。
Jed, oh my lord. This face here is just like master deception.
あの指輪の宝石は人をおかしくする悪い宝石なんだ。あれのせいで君のお父様はお疲れなんだよ。
そうなんですの？
うん。すべてあの宝石が悪いんだ。あの宝石のせいで俺は君と自由に会うこともできない。
Oh my god, no. My god, the manipulation.
ジェド様。
I let go of T's chin and stepped away. She looked both sad and
明
scared.
日の夜、広場近くの通りで君が来るのを待ってる。
待って、ジェド様。
このことは誰にも言ってはいけないよ。
I looked straight into T's eyes and tried to say it as gently as possible. T appeared to hesitate, but she soon nodded and left. That was too easy, tricking an ignorant girl with nothing. But I highly doubted she would be able to steal the magical stone. If she happened to be successful, all the better. Even if she failed, I doubted that the punishment from the father would be too harsh. It'd be very harsh. I got a dark sense of satisfaction. I wondered what kind of face she would make tomorrow night when she came to see me. I couldn't wait. Oh. Father's left his room. He always takes his bath at this hour. He's bathing then.
よし、侵入成功ですわ。どこにしまわれたのかしら。急いで探さないとお父様が戻ってきちゃう。
She's actually going through with it.
あら、これは宝石箱。きっとこの中に。ありませんわ。そんな。
何をしている？
Uh-oh.
お父様。
何をしていると聞いている。
ごめんなさい。私お父様、どうしてそんな恐ろしい目をなさっているの？
With bloodshot eyes, murderous, like some kind of beast. Uh-oh. No, this wasn't the father I knew.
お前も裏切るのか？あの女のように、お前も。
Father drew his sword. What does he intend on doing with that? Please don't. I was only trying to search for the jewel. I wanted to deliver the jewel that turned my father to him. Don't tell me T is dead. I don't like a flowchart completion at 50%. The whole seemed to pass by quickly. I intended to pass slowly when there was something to look forward to. But it was the opposite this time. I hid myself along the street much earlier than when I promised to meet T. I wondered how she would look. She might not even come, but that would be fine too. That girl who thought she was just an innocent bystander saw that insane side of her father all the better. She did. The sun set and the fog began to hinder my vision. You were used to it, you could still walk around at this hour, but I didn't know about T. If she still didn't come after a while... I heard footsteps. Very faint footsteps that could be drowned out by the slightest sound. Moved ever so slowly to me, one step at a time. Why? Why was she walking so slowly? Something was wrong. I peeked out from my hiding place to look at the source of the footsteps. It was T. She was far away, but I could see her. There were 3 lines drawn from T's footsteps. I knew what the first 2 were. They were her tracks in the snow. What was the last line? It was red. A bright red color that seemed unworldly. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. What did I do to her? What did I make T do? I ran at full speed to her. Upon seeing me, T collapsed into my arms. I could feel her drenched in blood. Her shoulder was slashed deeply. The left half of her cute outfit was soaked in blood. I couldn't think. I had no time to think. She needed to get treated. I needed to take this girl in my arms somewhere safe immediately.
早くお湯を沸かして
Lawrence was treating the wounds with a serious face. It wasn't just Lawrence. Alec and Levy were also helping. I sat idly and watched the unraveling of what I had caused. Why did I say that? Why did I think that? I was disgusted at my foolishness and feared the emotions that resided in me. Olgar had gone insane. He didn't hesitate to kill his own sister. His family. And yet I did that to T. Lawrence barked out orders to the others in front of me. But my ears heard nothing. It was as if thick snow had blocked all traces of sound from me. And yet, a voice that shouldn't have existed came through. A whisper from a voice that shouldn't be here spoke to me.
構わないじゃない。こんな娘がどうなったって。
Francisca's voice. No, Francisca wouldn't say that. Are you sure? Maybe you didn't know the real Francisca could have...
あなただってそう思ってるんでしょ。だから、そそのかして。
黙れ。
こんな小さい女の子の純粋な恋心を利用して自分。
黙れ。
よかったわね。あなたの望み通り。綺麗なままの少女は体に一生消えない。
黙れ黙れ黙れ。
I ran out of the church in an attempt to flee the voices in the sight before me. Where are you going? Anywhere. I want to disappear. I don't deserve to be here when I have such ugly feelings. I ran and ran and ran. I continued to run from something I couldn't escape. I soon slipped and fell on my face. Yeah. Oh god. It didn't hurt. Had my sensations dulled so much I couldn't feel pain? No, the many snowdrops I was cushioned my fall. Yesterday I found tea here at the snowdrop field. Why did I come here of all places? I laughed at myself. I lay on my back to face the sky. There was so much snow you couldn't see the sky. There would be a large pile of snow again tomorrow. Maybe I should bury myself here. If I disappeared under the snow, I could vanish in peace.
ここで終わらせてしまうのかい?
That wasn't my imagination. She was standing above, looking down on me. Why was he here? Did he know about what happened with T? There was no point in questioning it when it came to this man.
苦しい。
どうして?
自分で亡くなってしまったみたいで。
In a surprising turn of events, this man appeared to sink for a second.
君の周りの人は多かれ少なかれ君に好意を寄せている。そして君はそのことに傲慢になっていた。
そんな私は
Did I really deny that? I took advantage of T's feelings for me. I was always dependent on Lawrence and Elric too. Love and even Levy.
世俗的な言い方をすればいい気になっていた。そしてたやすく自分を好いてくれた人を傷つけた。
Those words hit me hard. He turned my regrets into words and clarified the foolish actions I took.
でもそれは普通の感情だ。
そんなことない。こんな気持ちが普通なわけが。
人に好かれれば嬉しい。嫌われれば悲しい。それを普通じゃないというのかい？
でも私はティを
純白の綺麗な感情じゃない。かといって漆黒の汚れた感情でもない。善と悪の二元論に当てはまらない灰色の感情だ。それを持つ人間を、君を。
Tears overflowed. Those dark emotions inside me came out as tears, one drop at a time. Soon turned into a stream and I couldn't stop it. Man, gotta love hearing this. Now, honestly, it's making me almost cry as well. I was crying out loud before I knew it. Why was I crying? Crying won't give me forgiveness. Crying won't wash away these ugly emotions. She was right there, so I didn't want him to see me crying like a child. And yet I couldn't stop. Look at Hugh just looking on in concern. He remained silent and sat next to me. He stayed there until I stopped crying. I didn't know how much time had passed. How much time did I need until the tears dried? As if you were waiting for that, Hugh finally opened his mouth.
冬を越そうとした2匹の蝶の話を聞いたことがあるかな。
蝶。
そう、恋人同士の蝶の話。2匹の蝶は共に寒い冬を越えようとしていた。だけど1匹は先に死んでしまう。
もう1匹は
孤独に春を迎えた。そして花が芽吹くのを待った。新しい命をつなぐために。そしておしまい。新しい命をつないだらその蝶も人知れず死んでしまった。だからおしまい。そんな切ない話を紡いだ人がいてね。この蝶はそれで良かったのかな。満足だったのかな。君はどう思う？
I didn't know. I thought it was a sad story, but that was the way of nature. Butterflies gave birth to more, died, and the cycle repeated. Why did you tell me this?
まだわからないかな。
He pointed at my chest and continues on.
君の春が愛を芽吹かせるとき、そこに住まう人は一体誰だろう。
私の春。
洗濯の時までによく考えておくといい。赤い瞳の魔女よ。赤い瞳の少女よ。かな。
He left his incomprehensible words behind as he departed. I looked up at the sky again. The snowfall had lightened. I decided I wouldn't be too sick of a layer. I wouldn't be able to get buried by this. All the unnecessary things in my heart seemed to have flowed out along with my tears. I had to face whatever was left inside. And for that I knew the first thing I had to do.
ティに会わ わなきゃ。
お前どこほっつき歩いてたんだ。
いきなりいなくなるし、全然戻ってこないし。
Right after I returned to the church, everyone scolded me. They were in the right. I ran off without telling them anything after all.
T は
I went and asked Lawrence who was apart from the group. I was prepared for the worst.
命だけは取り留めたよ。
But now, his words brought me relief and worry at the same time. Liv. T is alive, but... Lawrence seemed to make a silent signal for me to follow him, so I did. The church wasn't very big. We arrived at the destination in no time. This was the open room that Levy and I weren't using. T was asleep here.
T!
I ran up to her and called her name. Her eyes were open and she wasn't asleep. Her gaze appeared hollow, looking into nothing.
ロレンス、T は
よほどショックを受けたんだろう。ずっとそんな調子だ。
そんな。
Bent back to T to hold her hand. No reaction. She was always filled with so much emotion, and that old T was nowhere in sight.
ごめん。ごめんなさい。俺のせいで。
Congratulations, Dad. You just caused T irreparable trauma. Apologizing wouldn't allow me to be forgiven. Apologizing wouldn't bring anything back. But right now all I could do was apologize.
それに俺、ずっと T のこと騙してた。俺、男じゃないんだ。
There's gonna be no reaction. And yet, T, there was something I could finally think about how the person being tricked would feel. Love and Levy both laughed it off and forgave me, so I was never troubled by it. But T... The tears that I saw her dried dripped onto T's hand. T's hand twitched. It was so slight, but I knew for sure it did.
ロレンス、今。
でも今日はここまでにしておこう。彼女を休ませてあげないといけない。
That's right, he just survived a grave injury. My mind and body were completely fatigued. I reluctantly let go of her hand and placed it back on the bed.
ロレンス、頼みがあるんだ。
なんだい？
T の看病は俺にやらせてほしい。T が以前のように笑えるようになるまで。
それは食材のつもりかな？
わからない。わからないけど。
わかった。彼女のことは君に任せるよ。
Morning arrived after what seemed to be a long night. I was by T's side the whole time.
おはよう、T。
T looked at me. She was responding to my words. That was all there was to it, but it made me so happy. She'd recovered so much from yesterday. I noticed something as I talked to her.
お腹空いてない？何か持ってこようか？
So
今はい
sad.
らないかな。そうだよね。起きたばっかだし。食べたくなったら遠慮なく言って。T の好きなもの何でも用意するから。T?
Responsive to me. Her brows furrowed and she moved her neck. Her mouth also quivered. Yet she didn't speak.
もしかして喋れない？
Looked down sadly. So traumatized that she can't speak. She seemed to have lost her ability to speak. Her throat shouldn't have been injured, so it might have been a mental thing. It was my fault that she lost her voice. Another fact weighed heavily on me. But now was not the time for me to feel down. I was in no position to be depressed about this. It was my fault this happened, so it was on me to fix it. The people residing at the church who came to visit T one after the other. Lawrence came to force her to eat so she could recover faster. Elric came with Rabbit to kill some time, according to him. Rabbit hopped on top of T's head without hesitation. Although she looked slightly troubled, it seemed that she was smiling. The biggest response was when Levy visited.
よ、もう起きてて大丈夫なのか？そんな顔すんなよ。一応俺もお前の手当てしてやったんだからな。なんかお前がおとなしいと調子狂うな。早く元気になれよ。
ちょっと待って。
I ran after Levy and exited the room with him.
どうした？
いや、さ、T はレミのこと分かってたよね。嫌そうな顔してたし。
そうだな。怪我してても可愛げがないっつうか。
俺を見ても特に反応しなかったのに、どうしてレビだけ。
君のことは忘れているのかもしれないね。
ローレンス？
Lawrence was on his way over and he jumped into the conversation.
どうしてジェドのこと忘れてんだよ。
いや、仕方ないよ。それだけのことをしたんだし。
ジェドのことだけを忘れているわけではないと思う。これは勝手な予想だけど、父親に切られたことを忘れたいんじゃないかな。だからそのきっかけとなったジェドのことも。
そんな器用なことできるのかよ。
人の心は存外都合よくできているんだよ。自己の防衛のために忘れたいことだけを忘れたり、記憶を改ざんすることだってある。
His words were oddly convincing. T did forget about me, but I deserved it. I didn't have the right all the time to feel down about it. All I could do now was to help her make a full recovery, including her memory.
おい、いるか？
I heard Levin's voice at the entrance.
兄貴。
どうしたんだろう。こんな人目につく時間に来るなんて。
Lying there wondering wasn't going to help either of us figure out when to come. Lawrence ran off to greet him and they soon came back together.
すまないな、いきなり。
いや、別にこっちは構わないけど。
気になる情報が入った。まだ真偽は定かじゃないが、もしかしたらお前たちの方が何か知ってるかもしれないと。
なんだよ、回りくどいな。
T がオルガに殺されたという話だ。
殺されてなんかない。
I denied it strongly. It offended me to hear that he was alive right now. Levin didn't look surprised. He just appeared to understand.
やはりここに来て正解だった。詳しく聞かせてくれるか？なぜ T を切ったのですか？
うるさい。
あの子はあなたのために花を摘んだ。なぜその気持ちが、優しさがあなたには通じない？
うるさい。炎の音が。
父上！
暖炉の火を消せ、今すぐに。
He's going insane properly now. But Levy's trigger was blood and Olga's trigger is fire.
あなたは人の心を失ってしまったのですか？
耳障りな。
狂犬を振るい、悪性を敷くと罵られようと、あなたは常に民のことを考えていた。だから俺は。しかし今や、いたずらに財を奪い、人々を殺す独裁者だ。
The uprising.
娘を手にかけたあなたに、人の心はかけらも感じられない。ただ狂った獣だ。
獣か。そうだ、皆が獣だ。この町に住まうすべてのものが。 何を言って。皆が都合よく忘れているだけだ。この町の真の姿をな。何も奪わせはせぬ。私は奪う側になった。たった一つ願いを叶えるために。
あなたをおかしくさせたのはカレイド・ビアか。
It actually had.
もはや後戻りはできぬ。邪魔をする者はそれが娘であろうと貴様でもだ。ルーガス。
なるほどな。確かな話だったか。
Oh damn.
T はオルガに切られた。
Mom thought it was because of me.
それはお前の問題だ。お前の中で決着をつけてもらうしかない。
兄貴、そんな言い方。
いいんだ。ラバンの言う通りだから。
今回のこと、これは一つの契機になる。
Recruit Lucas, yeah.
どういうことだよ。
ファルジのやりように町の多くが不満を抱いているという話はしたな。
The way they were doing things. They captured people in the town at will and then forced them to admit to crimes by torture. At times they took lives as well.
間違いなくオルガの指示だろうが、連中の行動はエスカレートする一方だ。
だからなんだよ。それは前にも聞いただろ。
行動を起こす時だと言っているんだ。
The air went tense. This plan had been in the works since Francisco was murdered, and now
いよいよか。
it's a good
オル
time.
ガを撃つ。
穏便に住めばそれに越したことはないがな。少なくとも当主の座からは引きずり下ろす。そうでなければこの町は暗く沈んだままだ。
Olga handed over the magical stone in peace. We might be able to leave it at that. But perhaps it was already too late. Oh, definitely. Even if he had turned insane, Olga had already attacked too many people. The townspeople, Francisca, even T.
それとルーガスは屋敷を離れたそうだ。
ルーガスが
いよいよ親父を見限ったってことか。
T のことが原因なんだろうね。
Lavin continued his doubt answering.
居場所はこちらの手の者が把握している。ジェド、お前が話してみるか。
俺が
Talk to Lucas? I did want to talk with him, but at the same time I'm too embarrassed. I wondered how Lucas felt at that moment. The father he respected so much tried to kill his sister. But I was the one who instigated it.
今さらルーガスが参加しなくても俺たちは計画を実行に移す。だがお前とあいつに本気でオルガを撃つ意志があるなら、その時は仲間として受け入れる。
To defeat Olga. That was my goal to begin with, to avenge Francisca. But right now,
少しだけ時間をくれないか。
あまり多くはやれない。せいぜい数日だ。
構わない。
分かった。ルーガスには少ししたらここに来るようにな。
great. The next few days I stayed by T's side. From morning to night I checked on her, even when she was asleep, in the hopes of her getting better soon. When she was in pain I treated her, other times I continued to talk to her. I might have been a nuisance to her, I knew what I did can be forgiven with this. But this was what I wanted to do. I thought maybe this would allow T to regain her lost voice. Lucas might come to visit, might be tomorrow or the day after, maybe even today. I'd be lying if I said it didn't worry me, but right now I was afraid of seeing him. But I was able to forget that at least when I was nursing T back to health. My focus was not bringing back the brightness she used to have. I wanted to save T, but instead I was the one being saved. The realization of this brought bitterness to my heart. It made me realize just how many people saved me.
本当に海外しいよね。
Rabbit's amazed. On that day, Ulrich and Rabbit were there together.
手伝いに来てくれたの？
手伝いなんて必要ないでしょ。全部あんた一人でやっちゃうんだし。 くよ。別にいいけど。それじゃ。
I didn't know what they talked about between themselves, but Eric left Rabbit behind.
待って、この子はなんて。
今日はその子と遊びたいんだって。それじゃ僕は行くから。
Was there that much of a message in that little cry? Eric said that there was nothing he could do to help, but Edith agreed. She showed more emotion when she was with someone other than me. She frowned when Levy came, and when Rabbit was here she smiled just as she did now. There was something I couldn't do. When was the last time I properly spoke was tea? Right. It was during the masquerade. Sad the incident with Francisca happened. We weren't in any position to be able to talk to anyone in the Hawk clan.
どんな話をしたんだっけ？ T は覚えてる？
No answer. So I decided through my memory.
そう。私、今年はたくさんお手伝いをしましたの。マスカレードの準備の。準備してる間、ボルグの人ともいっぱい話して、優しい人も面白い人もいっぱいいて、これからも仲良くしていけたらそれも悪くないかもって。
Hearing her words is reminding me that I should hate my very self. She was changing for the good. What she was saying now would have made me so happy back then. And yet I betrayed T's trust. I remembered things and got depressed. Lisette's face looked at me worriedly. Oh no, I shouldn't be like this in front of T. I wondered if she still desires what she said before.
まだボルグとも仲良くしたいと思ってる？
No answer, but she didn't appear to reject it.
もしそうなら、俺はそれを叶えたい。それは俺の望みでもあったから。そのためなら、俺は何だってする。俺にできることなら、
The hawks and the wolves. So that T and I could smile again. And for that we have to end this conflict. I could tell that my mind was slowly but surely coming to that resolve. But we have to defeat T's father for that. Is that really the right thing to do? That night, I checked to see that T had completely fallen asleep, fighting back to my own room. In that moment, I heard a slight sound. Was there someone in the chapel at this hour? It could have been my imagination, but I also thought of a single possibility. He could be here. I should go. The chapel was deathly quiet. The faint glow from the stained glass window painted a pattern on the floor. A scene that appeared so transient that I would vanish the moment I touched it. In the middle of it stood Lucas.
ルーガス。
Really there? Was it really Lucas who was standing there? Something made me doubt that it was him. His dauntless strength was nowhere to be seen. His saddened eyes were like those of a fearful boy. The voice was Lucas's without a doubt. I thought he would come, but I wasn't ready yet. What should he talk about? He glanced over to me and then quickly back to the stained glass window.
そのぐらい時を感じる。
このステンドグラス？
これを作ったのは俺の本当の父親だ。
Oh, his real father. Prior to his being adopted by Olga.
父さんはガラス職人だった。ろくに対価ももらわず、仕事も少なかったが。懇意だった女性に頼まれ、大勢の人の平和を願ってこれを作った。自分の家庭も守れなかった男が大層なことを願ったものだ。
listened quietly. Lucas told me his past back when we were alone in the tower too, but something about him was different this time. His voice was soft, though. It sounded kind.
だから俺は父上オルガから学んだ。何かを守るために必要なのは祈りではなく力だと。力とは人を動かすための権力。人に憎まれることを恐れない心。そう学んだのに。
As the weightless was that kindness and his voice became muffled. It was returning to the strong voice that I knew him for.
父上は間違っている。力に溺れている。守るべきものを壊し続けて魔石のせいだと思いたい。そうであってほしい。
そう思うんだったら
It was then that it crossed my mind that I should tell him my desire. Yes, there is only one thing that I want from Lucas.
力を貸してほしい。
Lucas didn't reply, so he simply stared at me.
こんなことを頼む資格はないのかもしれない。オルガが T を手にかけた。その原因は俺だ。それでも
やったのは父上だ。お前じゃない。
だけど
それにお前に頼まれるまでもない。俺は俺の意志でこの町を守る。以前の父上やとそのためにお前と共に戦おう。
ルーガス。
Lucas held out his hand. I firmly grasped it in mine. I was moved by his words. Lucas was strong. He has decided to fight his own father. I should follow his example. This was for Lucas, Lavin, and Levy too. This would also be for Tease and my sake. We would take the magical stone from Olgar.
それと T はここにいるんだな。
うん。今は寝てると思うけど。
I motioned for him to follow me and I took him to a room. I quietly opened the door, but T, who I thought was sleeping, turned her head.
ごめん、起こしちゃったかな。
She slowly shook her head.
T
He looked at the other guest in her room, but she showed no emotion upon seeing him. Does she not remember Lucas?
声を出せない。それと、記憶を一部失っている。
I whispered into his ear what happened to her. Lucas didn't appear to be surprised. He looked at T up close and seemed relieved.
妹の命を救ってくれた。この礼はいずれ必ず。
助けたのは俺じゃない。それに俺は。
A slight sigh. A raspy yet cute voice that didn't belong to either Lucas or myself. Oh?
T? 声が出せるようになったの？
I ran to her bedside. I moved closer so that I didn't miss a single word she said.
ルーガス、T が。
She spoke, her voice was back.
T
Lucas went to her side. She tried to stand up and touch my face with her slender fingers.
T?
してくれて
My tears blurred my vision. I felt so happy and sorry that this was what she said first.
ごめんなさい。
T's hand came over mine. It was
あ
warm.
りがとう。
I held T's hand back. Quite fat, but I couldn't help myself. More tears flowed. I'd been doing nothing but cry recently. T's memories weren't back yet, her wounds hadn't fully healed either. There was light in her eyes once more, that made me so happy that the tears would not stop. A few days passed by quickly. Marvin and Lucas stopped coming to the church. On the other hand, Levy started coming in and out as a messenger. The effect of Lucas's rebellion was rather large. A lot of sympathizers to their cause had gathered. With the increase in numbers came greater need for preparations. I left them to it so that I could remain by T's side. Her emotions and voice came haltingly, but I could clearly see that she was getting better by the day. Her wound still hadn't healed, so she couldn't move around. It wouldn't be long until she could walk again. The day of the mission arrived before she could get better. Tomorrow, we would raid Olgar's manor. Everyone was gathered at the church. When was the last time the four of us were gathered here?
マスカレードかな。
なんだよいきなり。
あ、ごめん。みんなが揃うのがいつ以来かなって考えてて。
マスカレードか。まるで遠い昔のように感じるな。
ああ、まだそれほど経っていないというのに。
あ、
どうしたの？
思い出した。俺らマスカレードよりもっと前に会ってる。
え？
ほら、森に探検に行った時。
そうか。子供の頃のもう一人いた少年はルーガスだったな。
Oh. Was it? I couldn't remember. In my hazy memory, I think there was another boy there. When I looked to Lucas, he heaved a sigh as if he just gave up.
俺たちは敵対していた。思い出さなければそのままでもよかった。
ま、ジェドは一番ちっこかったしな。覚えてねえのも無理ないな。
それにしても運命とは数奇なものだな。
本当だね。
Children who stood up, go to the witch's forest when I was standing up again to protect the town. It was like a fairy tale, felt like destiny to me.
お前たちに言っておくことがある。
どうした？改まって。
まさかガキん時みたくおじけづいたとか言うんじゃねえだろうな。
Levy teased Lucas, but he didn't act any differently. Even on our side, Lucas didn't change one bit. I used to think his attitude was threatening and overbearing, but now it feels so dependable.
もしお前たちの誰かがオルガと対峙することになったら、その時はためらわずに撃て。
His strong words echoed. Lucas told us to kill his own father.
お前がそうなった時はどうするつもりだ？
答えるまでもない。
でもルーガス、オルガは魔石のせいで。
His mind was eroded by lunacy because of it. Lucas did say that he hoped that was the only reason.
魔石さえ取り上げれば元に戻るかもしれないんだよ。
分かった上で言っている。あの男の前で迷いや隙を見せれば命取りになる。
さすがに大げさだろ。そりゃ顔はおっかねえけど、いい年したおっさんだし。
I wouldn't doubt it.
俺に剣を教えたのはあの男だ。そして俺はあの男に勝てたことがない。
Even Lucas couldn't beat him. I just fought Lucas the other day. Yeah, then. I thought I was pretty good myself, but I didn't stand a chance.
もっとも最後に手合わせをしたのは何年も前だ。今でも自分が負けるかどうかはわからん。
だったら
その甘さを捨てろと言っている。今のオルガは 娘すら手にかける獣だ。淡くとも期待は持つな。
There was no reason to say anymore. Lucas's determination was real. Although they were not related by blood, he used to respect Olgar so much. He knew Olgar was crazed only because of that magical stone. I knew he was a person among us who wanted Olgar dead the least. Olgar murdered Francisca. No, not just Francisca. All the people who gathered here all thought of Olgar as a target of vengeance, as a family or other people close to them. Was it the right thing to do? To kill Olgar? What exactly did I want to do? We all were sent away, time being, to prepare for the next step. I'm sure we held a sense of uncertainty within our minds. What should I do? I wanted to talk to someone to feel better about this. That was all I could think. Who should I go and talk to? Save! 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 No, no, different save. Save again. Option time, option time, option time. Talk to Lucas, that was probably the obvious choice. Also, damn, we're far in chapter 8. Holy moly. I mean, I had every intention of, you know, going through chapter 9 as well and stuff like that. But, yeah, wow. Also, you're picking Lucas. Kind of obvious choice for going with Lucas's route. Ah, Lucas. Lucas was alone in the chapel. I watched him from behind as he looked at the stained glass window with a heavy air about him. His presence didn't instill fear like before. I stood next to him and looked in the same direction in silence. Lucas's real father supposedly made the stained glass window. It still allowed a gentle light into the church. I wondered what this man thought of it. Was he thinking of Olgar? And we're gonna leave on that cliffhanger for today. On save number 19. Stay on time. We're going to finish up for today. We are making steps towards our first ending. We are making the first steps towards our first ending today, and we'll probably get it possibly by end of next episode. Considering we are mostly through chapter 8, and chapter 9 doesn't look crazy long. Actually, let me have a look roughly how long chapter 9 might be. Okay, never mind, it is pretty long, but still. Okay, it's about an hour and a half, like the rest of them. But still, like, we might possibly be getting Lucas's ending next stream. With how this is going. So yeah. That's gonna be it from me for today. For Psychedelic of the Ashen Hawk. Yeah. We are gonna be going raiding. Let's see, who should we raid today? I have no idea. Genuinely have no clue. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I don't know who's raid, so maybe we just won't raid. Let's find someone in the next, well, few seconds. Then I think, ooh, is nice to raid, then yeah. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. Yeah, okay, I'm not fighting anyone. Okay, we won't raid today then. Yeah, thank you for joining me today for episode number 10 of Psychedelic of the Ashen Hawk. The next stream will be Shin Megami Tensei 5, which is hilariously enough also episode 10. And yeah, I will see you for SMT 5, or I will see you tomorrow on YouTube exclusively for Mortal Kombat 11 chapters 10 and... Sorry, not Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 1 chapters 10 and 11 of the story mode. So yeah, I'll see you all soon, wherever you may be watching from. Goodbye everyone. Bye, bye, bye-bye.